Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm Akeem Lawanson, and in today's Fix of Entertainment news, we've got details on the new voices of Rick and Morty coming to season 7. The WGA might have just struck a deal to end the ongoing writer's strike, and Martin Scorcese is yelling at the clouds yet again. Find out why in today's Fix. Let's drop it. In the new trailer for Rick and Morty Season 7, the two titular characters' new voices have finally spoken, and so have the fans. The reception? It's a bit mixed, but I'll let y'all be the judge. In the Justin Roiland-less trailer for Season 7, we see Rick turning himself into a leg, which is reminiscent to the time he once turned himself into Pickle Rick.
Hey look, Morty, I'm a leg!
And this scene with both Rick and Morty talking about getting back in the saddle.
What do you say, Rick? Fly through space, come upon something, maybe I have a moral objection?
Rick and Morty, we're back, baby!
I wanted to play a few clips to give you all an idea of what they currently sound like. Now, based on what these two characters used to sound like, what do y'all think of the new voices?
I'm telling you, man, you're making a big mistake here.
Mistake or not, it had to be done. It was confirmed back at Comic-Con of this year that they'd be going with sound-alikes for the characters, with two different actors taking on the roles of Rick and Morty. Now, definitely a deviation from what Rick and Morty fans were used to when Justin Roiland was at the helm. Now, Roiland voiced many characters from the animated series, including the titular heroes. Now, Roiland was let go by Adult Swim earlier this year after domestic abuse charges were levied against him. Now, those charges have since been dropped, and Roiland released a statement on Twitter stating he's determined to move forward, focus on restoring his good name, and working on new creative projects. Now, what those creative projects are remains to be seen, but at this point, it can be assumed it's neither Rick and Morty or Solar Opposites related. Now, both Adult Swim and Hulu have severed ties with the creator and likely have absolutely no plans of bringing him back on board either projects despite the recent legal developments. Now, while we still have no clue as to who is actually voicing Rick and Morty, in true Adult Swim fashion, the company did joke about what we can expect from their new voices in the official synopsis for the upcoming season. Quote, Rick and Morty are back and sounding more like themselves than ever. It's season 7 and the possibilities are endless. What's up with Jerry? Evil Summer? And will they ever go back to the high school? Maybe not, but let's find out. There's probably less piss than last season. Rick and Morty 100 years, or at least until season 10. Now, we confirmed here at IGN that Adult Swim has no plans of releasing the names of the actors who are now playing Rick and Morty. According to sources, they, quote, want the show to speak for itself. We believe in the strength of the season and our new voices, and we want to preserve the viewing experience for fans. So, fans will find out who the voices are behind the titular heroes during the show's premiere come October 15th on Adult Swim. And whomever they are, they'll surely be thrust into the limelight to face scrutiny amongst fans and praise for their performance. It's the internet, baby, so the public will either love you or hate you in equal measures. Now, hopefully Rick and Morty fans can react to the casting changes in a reasonable fashion and not, I don't know, get all worked up like they did when McDonald's dropped that damn sauce back in the day on their menu. And we'll find out real soon in the coming month. All right, now in other Hollywood news, it looks like the WGA strike could be coming to an end. Now, the Writers Guild and the Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers have reached a tentative agreement. Now, according to The Hollywood Reporter, the WGA has told its members that the deal reportedly contains, quote, agreement in principle on all deal points. In an email to strike captains, the WGA said, quote, we have reached a tentative agreement on a new 2023 MBA. We can say with great pride that this deal is exceptional, with meaningful gains and protections for writers in every sector of the membership. Now, however, this doesn't mean the WGA strike is officially over. The Guild's members must still vote to ratify the new contract, but picketing by WGA members has been suspended, so it sounds like a very positive step forward. And there's still a ways to go until film and television productions officially start back up. Now, the SAG-AFTRA strikes is still ongoing, but since the WGA and SAG-AFTRA share similar concerns, a breakthrough with the Writers Guild could help move things along with the Actors Union. And finally, Martin Scorcese is back at it again talking about superhero movies. Now, in an interview with GQ, the legendary director heaped praises on his fellow filmmaker Christopher Nolan and his recent mega hit Oppenheimer, specifically praising it for not being a comic book movie. Oppenheimer's not a comic book. That's a real person? What the? Anyways, Scorsese has been vocal in the past about superhero cinema, and he once again railed on the popularity of movies rooted in comics, saying, quote, "The danger there is what it's doing to our culture, because there are going to be generations now that think movies are only those. That's what movies are." The director explained that filmmakers themselves need to, quote, fight back, saying, quote, "It's gotta come from the filmmakers themselves. And you'll have, the Safdie brothers, and you'll have Chris Nolan. Hit them from all sides and don't give up. Let's see what you got. Go out there and do it. Go reinvent. Don't complain about it." But it's true because we've got to save cinema. Now, he wasn't entirely negative. Now, in the same interview, he said there are directors and special effects teams doing, quote, beautiful work. Now, he questions if it's really cinema. Now, this isn't the first time Scorsese has spoken out against the rise of franchise movies and even streaming culture. In regards to streaming, it kind of sounds a little like the pot calling the kettle black, considering Scorsese's Oscar-nominated The Irishman was distributed by Netflix and his upcoming Killers of the Flower Moon will be coming to Apple TV+. Admittedly, they're both getting theatrical releases first, but if Marty hates streamers, well, that hasn't stopped him from playing ball with them. Now, meanwhile, you have to wonder if Nolan would be making stuff on the scale of Oppenheimer and Dunkirk if he hadn't made a name for himself with the Dark Knight trilogy. All right, that about wraps it up for this entertainment fix. I'm Akeem Lawanson. Thank you so much for watching. Now that you're caught up on today's news, please check out our previous video. Download the IGN app on all your devices, and for everything else, stick with IGN.